So we're going to start now. Olivia Campbell Anderson, excuse me, serves as an executive director of Renewable Energy Vermont, the state's nonprofit clean energy trades, advocacy, and education organization. Prior to joining REV, she served as an assistant chief to the staff to Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, advising the governor on environmental sustainability, energy budget, and transportation issues, as well as 6 years at the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. Prior to her service with the state of Maryland, Olivia worked for Congressman Steny H. Hoyer during his time as majority leader. Olivia's career also included time with the National Wildlife Federation, during which she worked to reduce mercury and carbon pollution through federal and state regulatory and legislation action. So thank you, Olivia. I'm excited to hear what your presentation is.
Well, thanks for having me. As you mentioned, have the privilege of leading Renewable Energy Vermont, and I'm going to do a share screen here. So folks can learn a little bit more about REV, and then I can share any questions. Is this looking okay from your end? Uh-oh, did I go on mute again?
No, I just All right. There you go. It looks good.
Okay. All right. So I think if folks have questions, I'll leave it to you, Christine, for moderating, but I'm going to share a little bit about Renewable Energy Vermont, what we do, and then focus on some areas where I really think that financial professionals, such as credit union members, and particularly those assisting customers and Vermonters with mortgages and home purchases, could really help your customers and help those home buyers save money and help us as well meet our climate commitments. So a little bit about REV, as we're known. Renewable Energy Vermont is a nonprofit trade association. So our main purpose is to propel climate solutions and Vermont's clean energy economy. Folks that are employed in the clean energy economy represent approximately 6% of Vermont's workforce. And everything that we do is derived around achieving 100% total renewable energy. And when we talk about energy at REV, we are talking about electricity, heating, cooling, and transportation. And so it's really important. We represent businesses and individuals who are passionate about providing climate solutions in all of these categories. So it's not just solar, but it's also advanced wood heating, geothermal, cold climate heat pumps, electric vehicles, EV charging. We have a wide diversity of resources amongst our membership that is available to your customers. And so the main thing I want to share is think about REV as a resource. We so very often, folks are looking for somewhere to direct Vermonters that have very specific questions about clean energy solutions. And so we're here to help you and your customers with that. A little bit more about REV. We are involved in tracking and influencing a lot of policy and legislation in the state and federally and regionally. Many of the incentives that are available now to help customers and save money on their energy costs, REV has had a hand in creating those incentives. And so I'm going to talk about some things that are new, but there are a lot of opportunities now that didn't exist even a year ago. For example, incentives for electric lawnmowers, battery storage for whole home and small business backup, increased incentives for advanced wood heating, electric vehicles, and heat pumps. REV helped to create all of those for Vermonters to as a way to help them cut their fossil fuels and cut their energy costs. And so this is just a snapshot of some of our work over the year in terms of our reach. We do have a tremendous visitation from the public on our website. And so again, I encourage you to share those resources as your customers have questions about what they can do in their own homes. And think of us as a resource for your membership as well, for your services that you may offer to customers that are specific around climate and energy solutions and how we can help you and help connect folks. So I'm going to talk a little bit about issues in connection with heating, and because this is often undiscussed, folks are very familiar with solar and the net metering, but a lot of times when purchasing a home, it's not often thought about the age of the heating system or the type of the heating system and how much that will cost the homeowner and cost Vermonters over the life cycle. So these are some incredible statistics from Energy Action Network resources that shows how much money stays in the state versus leaves the state. So for our energy, we want to think about energy similar as we think about food, is what creates resilience, what creates local economic growth. So there are many options now for heating that end up benefiting the individual homeowner if they choose local renewable options more so than sticking with traditional options such as oil, propane, or gas. And as you can see by these graphics, when someone chooses electricity for heating and when someone chooses wood for heating, then there's a tremendous benefit, not only in terms of the climate pollution that's reduced, but also in terms of the amount of money that's recirculated in the Vermont economy. And so there are a lot of solutions now when someone is buying a home to really think about that and perhaps think about incorporating any improvements to the heating or cooling system when you buy the home into the mortgage. And so thinking about solutions like cold climate heat pumps. Right now, there are tremendous, doubled incentives that come from Efficiency Vermont and from electric utilities for helping folks switch from traditional oil and gas heating solutions into using heat pumps, and the same thing for wood, either cleaner wood stoves or what we recommend is advanced wood heating. So it's very simple, turn of the knob. It's not your grandpa's outdoor wood stove. And so these types of solutions are things we want Vermonters to think about, and particularly if you are working with customers at that point of purchase, it's a great time to then think about other improvements to the home that they might want to roll into the mortgage or finance through your credit union in another way. So it's a really important thing that I think mortgage providers can ask is at thinking about the heating system and what a customer might need and when they might want to replace that system. And the best time is when you're buying a house and making those big investments to make things easy. Another new technology that is well, it's not that new, but it's really now becoming available for all homeowners with the technology advances and the price reductions and the new incentives, particularly for folks who have Green Mountain Power as their electric company, is renewable energy storage. We are very used to the electricity going out, and so that's why a lot of people have a backup heating system in their home, in addition, like a wood stove or whatnot to supplement, in case, being prepared for the weather that we experience here in Vermont. But we are experiencing more frequent storms and more severe storms and increased power outages because of that. And given our current lifestyle, it's becoming less and less palatable, even particularly now with so many folks working from home, that we really need to have reliable electricity. And so folks may be familiar with old diesel generator backup. And now there's really no need for using fossil fuels for having backup energy and energy resilience for your home. There are numerous products that are batteries. Some of them are pretty sleek that can go in your garage or in your basement, or anywhere in your home, to make sure that you never have the impact or even feel when the lights are going off. And so there's new incentives for renewable energy storage or battery backup storage. For customers, they can lease the battery backups from Green Mountain Power or from even private energy providers. I believe SunCommon and Sunrun are doing leasing. Or if you want to have total control and take advantage of federal tax incentives, if you've gone solar, you can add storage to that system and have real total resilience for your home. So this is a new technology that we encourage folks to take a look at. And again, when you're purchasing a home, these types of features where you have renewable heating that cuts down and creates predictability in the cost, and backup storage, these are can be real selling points for a home as well. So I encourage, it's another point where when you're talking with customers of, have you had an energy audit? Have you done any energy efficiency retrofits? Have you thought about your heating system? Think about the backup power system and just know that there's renewable based technology available now to all Vermonters, and there's incentives going on right now with Green Mountain Power for the next 3 years for battery storage backup, and federal incentives for battery storage backup. And then net metering, I'll just leave this here too. Net metering is the policy that enables Vermont to generate their own electricity. Most folks choose to do so through solar, but small wind is also possible with net metering. And solar panels are installed. There's a variety of different types of solar panels that can be installed either on your roof, in the yard, field, or tracker systems. We even now have solar parking canopies that are becoming quite popular that use bifacial solar panels. So it's using solar, generating electricity from both the top and the underneath of the panel, so you get even more energy from less space, and creates a nice parking area or a little canopy area for backyard picnicking or shading. And so net metering enables you to roll your meter backwards and get credits on your electricity bill. And then if you have extra, you can share that with your neighbors as well. And so this is a very important policy that REV helped to create and that we advocate all the time to maintain this as an option for Vermonters. And so maybe I should just stop and see if there are any questions about these technologies.
I have a question, Olivia. You know how with the solar, the net metering Vermonters can generate their own electricity, and then they can share what they don't use with their neighbors. Do you know of anybody utilizing this during the COVID-19 issues with so many people losing jobs? If anybody's if there's a pool where they can donate, to people who are in need of help with the electric?
Yes, and so there's two options. You can, I know there are programs where you can donate to the food bank and to nonprofits yourself.
Ah,
Um, but you need to form a group and be part of a group. Green Mountain Power has also launched a pilot where if you have extra credits, you can direct your credits to go into this pool where it's designated to help nonprofits and also small businesses that have been impacted by solar.
that's
Um,
awesome.
and so that's what we refer to as group net metering. And so I definitely would get in touch with your local utility if you have extra credits and you want to share them, or there are several nonprofits, as I mentioned, like the Vermont Food Bank or the community action agencies. SEVCA, I know down in southern Vermont, has a program where you can donate and help connect to low-income Vermonters with credits as part of group net metering.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Are there any other questions about the other technologies that I mentioned?
I did like that graph though that showed how much stays in Vermont and how much leaves Vermont. That one, I think that's really neat.
Yeah, it really, when we step back and think about, one of the things we know about having oil-based heating, fuel oil, propane, natural gas, is that prices are very volatile. You really never know what the price is going to be. And when you make the switch and you look at the long term, even, over a 5-year average or the lifetime average, it's very predictable, and that's really important for so many Vermonters as we manage our budgeting. It's really helpful to know what the price is going to be, how much we think we're going to use, and that things are price stable. And so that's not only does it benefit the local economy and keeps that money circulating, just like buying local food, but it really creates stability and helps Vermonters with knowing their monthly budget so they don't get unexpected spikes and increasing needs. And then you're providing local economic benefits as well instead of sending money out of the region.
I try to display the inventory of energy efficient homes to real estate professionals, appraisers, lenders, realtors. I mean, otherwise, why would people care? But if there aren't homes out there with renewable energy systems or efficiency, why would they really, put in time and effort to learn more about it? And in the I guess it was early March of this year, I totaled up the number I assume that is the net metered PV installations in Vermont. And at the time, it was 13,272 installations. And the Energy Atlas is a great tool for seeing where they are and for an appraiser to find comparables or a realtor to find that when they're trying to set a price on things. I was wondering about what the rate of installation had been and what has happened with that as a result of COVID. Do you have any?
Yeah, well, I'll have those, I'll see a lot more as we're actually going to be evaluating that data this fall in August. So your question is just a little bit advanced. But what we do know, unfortunately, the clean energy trades were impacted by the safety precautions, and so we were not able to install solar during the time when construction businesses in all of Vermont were closed, and so there was a drastic drop off during that time. I do think it's definitely will be slowing when we see the results later this fall. we are in construction season now, and I know that things are picking up, but they're definitely significantly slower as folks have there are some strong signs. For example, interest rates are as low as they've been, and so if folks are looking to needing financing for home improvements, like that could include installing solar, it's a very good time to get good rates on financing. But we are seeing some challenges in terms of consumer confidence in their employment, and will they have a job 3 months from now, and concern related to the recession. So we are seeing a slowdown, particularly in the residential sector, and definitely in the small business sector. But we hope that will rebound. So time will tell, and we'll see this fall when we do analysis related to the numbers. But we essentially lost a whole quarter of installations, and it's not simply just a backup, but the thing that's most frustrating as well is, while we are dealing with the COVID crisis, the climate crisis hasn't slowed down. And if anything, recent data is showing it's coming faster than ever. And so the need for creating more resilient homes through local energy, such as solar, and through battery backup systems that I spoke about, and local heating solutions, is even more important than ever, because climate change is here and it's costing us. We're going to be releasing some data this fall as well that talks about the impacts of the cost of climate that Vermont is already experiencing on our energy system. So it is still, like I mentioned, it's a very good time. Right now, for solar, the federal incentives are going to be reduced. So the tax incentives are reducing at the end of the year. Again, it has continued phase down. So and with interest rates low, we also do expect a change in the net metering compensation rates for customers. There's a regulatory process that is going to be restarting in August at the Public Utility Commission. So this summer and this fall is a really good time to go solar. And then also, as I mentioned, some of these other considerations on heating systems and on home and small business backup is also a good time. So I do want to point out a resource that could, I think, be helpful as you, particularly as mortgage lenders, are serving customers that might have questions. We often are asked, okay, can you refer me to someone who, I'm interested in getting solar, or I'm interested in getting heat pumps, or I want a new wood stove, can you refer me to someone? Because I think as financial institutions, you have tremendous credibility as a trusted advisor for your customers. And I would just encourage you to two resources on REV's website, where we have a really easy chart where you can, folks can identify quickly the businesses that are in their, that are near them and servicing them. So for example, if you go to the main REV website and then you click member directory, or if someone says go renewable, I want electricity, heating, cooling, transportation, we have this great thing where you can type in the service that you're looking for. You can type in the county that you live in, or leave that blank and then just identify if you're a residence or a business. And then I'll just do a quick search, for example, to find advanced wood heating. And these are all of you'll get a nice map that shows, and then you can see
Olivia, we're not seeing it. I think you got to share the other screen.
Oh, it says I'm screen sharing. Oops, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Let's see.
Yep, now we see
All
it.
right, okay.
Great.
So if you click member directory on REV's main website, revermont.org, or if you click go renewable and you select any of these technologies, then it's very personalized and you can type in the type of technology that you're looking for. If you're looking for heating, if you're looking for solar batteries, and then you can even select counties, or if you're a resident or if you're a business, and then you can find all of the folks that are providing that service and find ones that are near you. The biggest thing that I encourage for when we receive calls is one, I encourage folks to pick a company that's a REV member or pick a company that's part of Efficiency Vermont's network, because those are companies that we have vetted that have business insurance, that are members of the local trade association, so they're up to date on their credentials and they're aware of current laws and regulations. And so you want to go with a credible company that is engaged, meaning that they're a REV member or they are part of the Efficiency Vermont's efficiency network, so that you can make sure that you're getting a quality product and a reputable, experienced company, and then compare. The biggest thing I also encourage you to do is when your customers are looking for energy services, encourage them always to get more than one quote. We typically encourage folks to get 3 quotes, even for solar, because you will find the prices and they can vary, and it's really important to get the best product and for you and what your needs are, and get service from a local reputable company. So are there, let's see, are there any other questions that you have that I could answer?
I don't. I think this was really very helpful information, and I appreciate it. And then this is recorded, and so we will be sending it out to the credit unions.
Okay.
I do have one other question about the status of transportation improvements in the state, particularly fast charging for electric vehicles. I joined the bleeding edge as opposed to the leading edge, I'm afraid. The Chevy Bolt that I have, and it's a wonderful vehicle. I love it, except in the wintertime, the climate control system and the reduction in battery that results, it just doesn't give me the range that I need to have. And while we are seeing more and more level 2 chargers, those are pretty much chargers that you need an evening or an overnight to get back to go. And the network in Vermont pretty skimpy on fast chargers for the non-Tesla crowd.
Yes. Yeah. And so there is a need for increased public electric vehicle charging, and particularly fast charging. We have been advocating for increased investment. There's an opportunity through the federal Volkswagen settlement funds. And so I know that their construction should be underway this fall for additional fast charging sites around the state, but we need far more than we have. And so I know that the governor has supported those investments, and we're also trying to increase opportunities for workplace charging. because and Green Mountain Power and a couple of other utilities have been providing incentives and encouragement for workplace charging, but definitely far more is needed. There are some interesting, innovative things going on. This is not necessarily on fast charging, but there is a new company called EV Match, and where, similar to the sharing economy, where folks can find more charging and open up their charging that they may have in their home and business to others, and that is a thing that we're trying to encourage. But these investments, as you mentioned, Jeff, are really what is holding back from progress and what is actually needed to increase the effectiveness and consumer confidence in making the leap to an all-electric vehicle, and is definitely something that we have been advocating for at the legislature. And I think they really need to hear it from drivers themselves, because so that's one action that I would recommend. But we're also trying to encourage more charging infrastructure in downtown areas rather than just right off the highway, as a way to encourage increased visitation in our downtowns. But those are definitely areas of improvement that are needed, that we're advocating for additional funds to build that network out.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Olivia. I really appreciate it. And like I said, this is really going to be some good information for the credit unions, and I found it very helpful.
Yeah, I would also encourage your members. We are very fortunate to have VSACU as a REV member. In the past, Mascoma Bank, Key Bank have become REV members, because like I mentioned, we do get thousands of hits on our website for people looking. So I would encourage your members to think about becoming a REV member, and also if you have any special programs that we can help to connect Vermonters and connect our companies with your financing tools. We want people to also be able to find you and also use local financing resources as well. So I'd encourage you to think about joining us. And then if you have any special initiatives that we can share that with our members to continue to grow Vermont's economy. And so I thank you for considering us as a resource. And I hope that everyone is healthy and well, and we can continue to start to step out of these challenging times together.
I agree. Yes. And I'll make sure I, share with the other credit unions to join REV and how important it is. And we appreciate it.
This is Lori at VSECU, and I'd also like to add, thanks Olivia and Christine and Jeff, but really it's important for, other financial institutions to understand that financing is an important part of people feeling that consumer confidence that Olivia, you mentioned earlier, in investing in these types of projects, whether it's the advanced wood heat projects, or solar projects or EV projects. It's important for people to know that there is affordable financing out there to help make the economics make sense. Mm-hmm. And that's why people that work at financial institutions should be thinking about these as great products to help their customers and members, and making the right choices on investments that can help them save money on their utility costs. And knowing that money sitting around in savings accounts isn't making a lot right now because deposit rates are low, and perhaps the stock market doesn't seem like a great place to invest. This is investing in solar battery backup or electric vehicles or advanced wood heating systems is a really great way you know, stretch your dollars and to help you out in your, you know, future goals. So hope people, you know, get that message from this, and thank you again for sponsoring it, Christine.
Well, thank you. I appreciate Olivia taking her time today, because, you know, it is important that we let credit unions and members know all the avenues that they have, that Vermont has for you guys. It's very important. Oh, how cute.
Yes, working from home, my daughter likes to make cameo puppets.
Photobomb. Video
So,
bomb.
yes, well, please reach out anytime we can help. Again, our website's revermont.org, and we're happy to connect folks. So thank you so much for your time.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good day.